Welcome everyone to another episode of the Kamper Report. It's been a while, honestly. It really has. It's been, let's see, a week since I did my last show. But again, this last week it was super hectic for me. Had a lot going on. So I'm gonna try to keep it to like once a week where I go live if it's with a guest or not. But today, you guys can call in. The call-in link is in the chat. It's also in the description. So whatever you guys want to do, the call-in link is there. You guys can call in and have a discussion with me. I thought it would be a little bit switch things up a little bit from a normal guest that we have. You guys can come on and speak your voice. So that's what I got. But I have a few topics to entertain you guys with if nobody calls in. And so it'll be a show kind of thing that I'll be speaking and then whatever. Again, I'll try to do this more than once a week, but for right now, the schedule's a little bit busy. I thought I might get something done. So the first topic we have, and obviously there was a lot of news this week. Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins, Teron Armstead to the what's his name? Teron Armstead to the Dolphins as well. The Dolphins making huge moves. I mean, let me just name out a few guys that the Dolphins, a few notable guys that they've gotten. Teron Armstead. They acquired Tyreek Hill for a first, second this year, a fourth this year, a fourth next year, a sixth next year. So acquired Tyreek Hill for quite a bit, but now the Dolphins to me are loading up. I mean, so the title of the show, have the Dolphins won the offseason? Have they had the greatest offseason out of any team? I think they have. I think they really have. I think the Dolphins have done a really good job. This is similarly what the Giants tried to do with Daniel Jones last year. They're saying to Tua, we're going to give you all of these weapons. They're basically, the pressure is on Mike McDaniel now to say, we're going to give you these weapons and we're going to, the pressure is on, and now you're going to have to use these weapons and show us that you are a good coach. So we're going to use these weapons. We're going to give you these weapons. And now you basically have to go and win a division. They know what it takes to win in the AFC. The AFC is stacked. So they know what it takes to win in the AFC. So they're giving him all these weapons. But Tua now, I mean, let's talk about the receiving core. They got set. So Teron Armstead, Tyreek Hill, Chase Edmonds. That was huge. They're adding speed to that offense overall. They needed a left tackle. They got Teron Armstead, Chase Edmonds, Cedric Wilson, which is another really underrated receiver for the Cowboys, but was really good, Cedric Wilson. And then Raheem Mostert. Those are some notable guys. So fixing their offensive line, which was a huge need last year for the Dolphins, getting all these weapons along, and then re-signing Emmanuel Ogbah, which is a big defensive tackle, or no, I think defensive lineman for the Dolphins. So the pressure is on. They're going to bring all these guys back. They're going to make sure that Tua has whatever it takes to win. And now it's kind of crazy because they now can compete with any team. If Tua can really take that leap, they can compete with any team in the AFC. Really, who is in their way? The Bills, whatever. But basically, they're understanding what it takes to win the AFC. You have to have a super team. You have all these teams stacking up. You have the Broncos. You have the Raiders. Bills are good. All these teams are stacking up to win a Super Bowl. So it's not like the NFC where it doesn't take much to win. No, the AFC takes a lot to win, and they're understanding to get to the playoffs, it can't just be a winning season. It has to be a great season, a 12-5 season, a 11-6, a 13-4 season to win and to go far in the playoffs. So they're doing that. And now my thing is, now their receiving core consists of Devontae Parker, Tyreek Hill, what's his name? Cedric Wilson, Jalen Waddle. So that's four guys right there that are really good. Devontae Parker obviously gets injured, but he's solid when he plays. Devontae Parker, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson. all these, I mean, that's a stacked receiver core, plus Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert on the offense. I mean, a part of me says, why can't the 49ers be this aggressive? I mean, as soon as you lose a really, really good, you lose your offensive coordinator as soon as he goes to the Dolphins. What does he do? Picks up all these players. And what it brings up to me is every team in the NFL nowadays are trying to build a Rams-esque team. Every team wants the super team. And so what that says to me is every team wants to try to build a super team. Mike McDaniel knows what it takes to build a super team. Look at the Rams. Oh, they're winning? Okay, I'm just going to try to duplicate what they're doing right now by getting an insane left tackle, really good receiver. So this team's going to be really good, and it's what it takes to win in the AFC. Hold on. I can't see the comment yet. Okay, it's a little slow, my computer. Raheem Mostert and Tyreek Hill, two fastest players in the NFL. That's going to be really scary. This offense is going to be super fast. They're going to light you up in the speed game. It's going to be a deep threat game, a lot of lateral passes. It's funny because Mike McDaniel all these years has been running. They're going to obviously run the ball a lot. That's what they're going to do. But all these years, Mike McDaniel's been working with a guy who can never throw it deep. And now he's like, whoa, I've got two speedsters. Like, this is new. This is new to Mike McDaniel for sure. How to run an offense without somebody like Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's going to be a new experiment for him. How about Jakeem Grant? Okay, he went there. I did not know about that. Thank you, though. So that's a fifth receiver. That's 5 solid receivers right there. Plus whoever they get in the draft. I do expect the Dolphins to get an offensive lineman in the draft. That's probably, they don't have a first round pick, I don't think, but they could get an offensive. They're going to try to get another offensive lineman because, yes, they got Teron Armstead, but that whole offensive line was pretty bad last year as well. I wanted the 49ers to get him. Yeah, Jakeem Grant. Yep. Absolutely. So, anyways, what does this mean for the Chiefs? I mean, this team is now they obviously got what Juju Smith-Schuster. What does this mean for the Chiefs? I mean, they got Juju Smith-Schuster. They've got but the thing they could replace, they now have 2 first-round picks. I think it's the 28th and 29th pick. 2 first-round picks. They've got 2 guys who can really make a difference, but you could replace Tyreek Hill. Now, you can't really replace Tyreek Hill, but you've got weapons. You got Juju Smith-Schuster. You got a few guys that can really fill in for that. And you can also replace him with another receiver. You could draft a receiver like Chris Olave or Jahan Dotson. So what does this mean for the Chiefs? I think the Chiefs, I think, are looking to get stronger through the draft, looking to get stronger through the NFL draft. I think the Chiefs are looking to get stronger through the NFL draft. But the thing that makes me a little bit scared is the Raiders. Devontae Adams, Chandler Jones, Anthony Averett, Matt Collins. Those are all really good players. The Raiders, Broncos, all those teams getting stronger through free agency and everything else. And you have the Chiefs over here. Yeah, they got some good weapons to replace Tyreek Hill, even though there's really no replacing Tyreek Hill. You've now got the Chiefs who, yeah, they're getting stronger through the draft, but your whole division now is insane. What do you do? That's the thing. That's why I don't think they win this division, because you've got the Raiders who are now looking really strong. You've got the Broncos. You've got the Chargers who have an insane defensive line, pass rush, everything else. So you could potentially be seeing the Chiefs 3rd or 4th in this division next year. Now, they have a good enough team to still compete for the playoffs, but I don't know. I mean, this is going to be different. Swan Song is in the building. What is up, Swan Song? Thanks for coming in. And what do you want to talk about today?
Hey, what's up, Ben? I just heard the last part of what you were saying about teams going all in to get the Super Bowl. I think what's happening, I mean, the NFL is, of course, a copycat league, right? We all know that. Yeah. I think in this era, you're having, sure, ownership groups have, we've had new blood in the ownership groups, right? Whether it's younger people taking over from, the people that had, from their parents who owned the team, like Seattle. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I don't have it documented, but and then you have new ownership that comes in, right? But for the
Yeah.
most part, say back in the 70s, 80s, I think it was more about money. Like, don't get me wrong, it's always
Yeah.
about money. But back then, it was more about money, right? Now you
Mhm.
have ownership groups that come in that they're mega billionaires, and
Yeah.
to some of them, having a team is like having a nice sports car.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, it's they generate money from somewhere else, right? And
Right.
this is like a toy for them, and that's uh, that's the one thing that how the 49ers did so well with Eddie, because that's what it was to him, from what all I've read, back then.
Yeah.
He pretty much, he was given the team at 34 or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and then he just, that was his toy. And they made their money through construction, real estate, whatever, and that was their revenue generator. And this was just his toy. This was like his his baby. So he
Yeah.
could he could go all in all the time, right, and spend his money, because that's a, the 49ers are one of the first teams that I heard that he really took care of his players,
Yeah.
and the fact that he spoiled them. Like, he got them a private jet, he got a chef, like, on that private jet, when I don't think a lot of teams were treating their players like this. Like, he was like treating them kind of almost like they're like his friend, his family, right? So that's why
Yeah.
when we hear about like the 49ers and family, that's where that comes from, right? But nowadays, like I said, I think you have more Eddies in
Yeah.
the league, right? You have more of these people. It's
Right.
happening in basketball too. Look at Stephen Ballmer, the guy that owns the Clippers.
Yes, the
Like,
Clippers. Yep.
he's worth $90 billion. You think he cares about like making
Yeah.
20 million? I mean, all these guys
Yeah.
are wired differently. Obviously, they want to make money because they want to be successful at everything that they do. But at the same time, he didn't buy the Clippers because he was thinking profit. He's going, you know what? I'm going to retire doing something that I love, owning a sports team, and
Yeah.
he puts all his passion into that.
It's
So
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So that, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. I thought you had stopped, but yeah, that's a good point, and that's why like so many teams can go all in and do everything like this. But it's a model nowadays. It's becoming what you have to do to win in this league is to go in, and it never used to be like that. But it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why um I think it's harder nowadays to have a dynasty. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
because, I mean, the closest that you're gonna get, and I brought this up on another show, is like the closest thing you're gonna get to a dynasty is what the Chiefs are doing,
Right.
right? Like, granted, they have Mahomes, but man, I like that move they made, getting rid of Tyreek. I know there's probably some pissed off KC fans, but from the
Yeah.
outside
He was.
looking in,
He
go,
was he was getting older, losing
yeah,
speed, and the thing is this is a legacy year for Patrick Mahomes. Like, this is a year where you're saying, okay, like, you don't have your number one speedster, but they got guys to replace him. Juju Smith-Schuster. They now have 2 first-round picks. They replaced some of those guys. So, yeah, they still will be pretty good this year, I feel like.
yeah, and then if you have an elite QB like Mahomes, he's gonna make everyone better. So if they get
Right.
a talented pick in they have two, 28 and 29 or whatever they're
29,
picking at.
yeah.
Yeah, like, they, I mean, imagine if they picked up Christian Watson,
Yeah. With
like
that pick, yeah.
like, or any one of these, because it's a deep wide receiver class, right? So it's like, and then they can pick someone else on top of that. Like,
Yeah.
to shore up, I mean, they shored up the losing Honey Badger, or they're going to lose Honey
Right.
Badger with Justin Reed. That was a great pickup. So they can use that pick. They don't need offensive line. They maybe use an edge rusher. I'm not exactly sure, or a cornerback. I guess they need a cornerback because they lost Javarius Ward, right? Did they gain anything?
They got Juju Smith-Schuster. They got what? They got another receiver. They got what's his name? They got one other receiver. Trying to think here. I thought I wrote it down, but I don't.
They got Scantling, right?
Scantling, right?
Yeah,
Marquez Valdez Scantling.
yeah.
So they got him. That's 2 deep threats right there. I still think they're going to be good, but the thing is the AFC West is going to be so strong this
I know,
year.
it's nuts.
It's I don't think they win the division. I think they make it to the playoffs, but they're a team that's going to be interesting to see what happens, because you've got the Raiders, you've got the Chargers, all these teams that are just building up. And I think they're looking to get a little bit stronger through the draft. And again, I think the Tyreek Hill, I think, they realize, this can't go on forever. I think they realize that Tyreek Hill is getting older. And then let's just trade him while we can. That's what the 49ers, I think, should have done. with George Kittle, maybe, or maybe should do with George Kittle if we weren't also invested in him. Trade him while we can. But I don't know. That's a different discussion, the George Kittle.
Yeah,
So,
it's different in that there's a few dynamic issues, right? I mean,
yeah.
thing is with Tyreek, I'm sure a lot of the people didn't like, even in KC, probably didn't like him as much. Just
Yeah.
like he's not beloved as like Kittle because of all the, Tyreek Hill and he broke his kid's arm or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know, but some of those things that happen, it's like you're gonna get people that take a hard stance and go, I don't want that. I don't want that guy on my team. So it's
Yeah.
like, but yeah, an aging receiver, he's still fast, but if it's now's the time to do it. They got a haul for him, man. They
Yeah.
got what, two first? Did they get two first?
They got a first, a second this year, a fourth this year, and then like a no, yeah, and then like a fourth next year and a sixth next year,
Damn,
something like that.
that's
So
nice.
they can get a receiver. They can go multiple ways. They can get a receiver. They can maybe get some good defensive like a cornerback, good safety. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think they try to go probably receiver in the first round and safety. Or another thing that they might try to do is get a running back in the second round because they definitely need something like that because their run game's never been very good. So
yeah,
maybe they that could be something as well. But it also puts pressure on somebody like Andy Reid because now you're losing your number one weapon. How do you adjust to that? I think he's smart enough. He's going to adjust to that, but it's going to be interesting because
it's going to be interesting.
Because AFC, what it takes to win in the AFC, you have to be a super team. What it takes to win in the NFC, you have to be like mediocre. But
I've never seen a division as in my 30 plus years of watching NFL football. I've never seen a division like the AFC West.
Yeah.
Never. There's no time in history where you have four QBs that legitimately have Hall of Fame. Like Mahomes, scratch him in a Hall of Fame. Russell Wilson, Hall of Fame. Derek Carr, no, probably not there. And Herbert's definitely trending there. So it's like crazy. You never, and then it's not just QBs either. It's like they're all the teams,
receivers, defensive ends. Yeah. I mean, the Raiders, for goodness sakes, they built up Chandler Jones. They got Devontae Adams, Chandler Jones, Mac Hollins, which is a decent receiver. Yeah, they're gonna be good too. They re-signed Max Crosby, so they're good. And then you look at the AFC East; they're not bad either because they got the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. So it's just
Tom Brady must be rubbing his hands right now. Like you know what I mean? Like in the NFC, like, oh my God, look what I have here.
Yeah.
But and with the Niners, I don't understand. Okay, so fine, don't get Chandler Jones. He's aging. I get it. There's things. Okay, don't get Tyrann Mathieu. He's aging. I get it.
Yeah.
But why aren't they bringing? Why aren't they bringing an offensive lineman? Are they okay with what we have? Like, are they just going, you know what? We're fine with Aaron Banks. We're fine with Brunskill still. And then right tackle is a complete question mark to me because I don't think Vinci's coming back anytime soon.
Honestly, I think they're going to get, I don't know. It's interesting because I think it's pretty clear they obviously shored up the cornerback position to an extent. I think it's pretty clear that we do draft one in the second round. The thing is what do we draft? Because so many, Alex Mack is a big piece to fall. I think that piece he's going to make his decision around the draft. But that whole offensive line, like you said, is in shambles, or not in shambles, but there's a lot of question marks. You don't need just one or two draft picks. You need multiple to fix that offensive line. So, I mean, I wanted them to get the what's his name from Dallas,
La'el Collins.
La'el Collins. I wanted them to get him. But I mean, even if they do spend their second round pick on somebody pretty good, like Nicholas Petit-Frere from Ohio State, or a center or a guard or whatever, what do they do with all the other positions? Like that's my thing. I wouldn't trust right now Aaron Banks, but maybe he has something that they see in him that we do not. So
that's the thing. It's either that, hey, they're confident they're going to roll with the offensive line because of course they see something that we don't.
Yeah.
Or they just stuck and rolling the dice. I don't understand. Like, how could it, like, Morgan Moses was another guy at right tackle that I wanted him to get, and he signed. I can't remember who he signed with, but it was
Right.
for $5 million. It wasn't that big of a deal. Like it was not even, that's not
Yeah.
a lot.
I'm
And
trying to think, is the guy from the Patriots, what's his name, that we used to have? What's his name again?
Trent Brown.
Is he still on the I think he's still on the market, right?
He's still on the market, but the only thing about him is that he's heavy. Like he's good in pass protection, but I don't think Kyle would like him for like running wide zone and all that stuff. He's like 340 pounds or something.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay. Yeah. Another guy that
I thought of that too, though. I did think of that just because I'm desperate at this point,
Well, and the other guy that I think we could get in the draft that could move to guard, he was a right tackle, the guy from Kentucky, Darian Kennard. He's huge. He shouldn't be in pass protection, but he would be a really good run blocker and a good guard that we could get. So I don't know. I mean, I think our biggest needs right now, if Alex Mack does come back, I think our biggest needs right now is right tackle and left guard. That's what I think. I think we need to focus on that.
If they get a right tackle, I'll feel more at ease, just because fine, Aaron Banks, I mean, he showed a lot of promise, and if they're by their offseason moves, that tells me that they're pretty confident. That they can fill that spot. And plus he'll be next to Trent. So that'd be nice too, right? He's right next to Trent. But if Alex Mack doesn't come back, oh man, I don't even know, man.
I have a feeling he will, because I have a feeling like if he didn't come back, wouldn't have the 49ers tried to go after like Ryan Jensen or somebody like that?
Yeah,
like,
that's true. That's a good point.
I have a feeling he will, but the thing is like with guard, I think guard, you can get like actually pretty good guards in the third round. So like maybe you could get a really good win in the second round, but like the 49ers have so many third round picks. Maybe they just spend one of those third round picks on a guard, because guards, they get drafted later on anyways.
Yeah, right. So, and then this is a deep guard class too, from what I've heard and what I've checked myself. So I think because they might be a reach at second, getting a guard at second might be a reach. They can get a good one in third. There's a guy named Lycidas Smith. Smith.
I think I've heard of him.
Tech. Yeah, he looks pretty solid. There's a lot of them. When I do my mock drafts, there's so many good guards. There's another guy, Jonathan Revis, is pretty good too. That you can get in the 4th, 5th round. So I'm not that worried. If they can get, there's a right tackle named Tyler Smith.
Okay.
I think he plays at Tulsa. He's regarded as a pretty good.
I have looked mainly up in the draft just tackles and cornerbacks and safeties. So I haven't looked up a ton of guards, but I will get into that because.
Who do you like at safety?
Kirby Joseph, if we do decide to still go the second round. I think we need a ball hawk. Kirby Joseph had tons of, I think he forced like 3 or 4 forced fumbles in when he was with Illinois. He had like 5 picks in one season. He's a good safety. And then there's guys like what's the guy? Brian Cook, is that his name?
Oh yeah, from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. So there's guys like that I think really could help this team. Kirby Joseph, though, I like him a lot because opposite, he's a good, I think he could be a good weak side safety. So that's what Jimmy Ward plays, but I think we need somebody like him that maybe he's a good hard hitter, but he's a little bit different than Jaquiski Tartt. He's more of a better coverage type of safety. So if that's what the 49ers want, then I think that's the best route to go in the second round or something like that.
So I was watching Vish on Kruger last night.
Yeah.
I know it was broadcasted on the 25th or whatever, but I watched it for the first time last night. And Vish was talking about safety a lot and talking about slot corner and what we're going to miss with K1, right? And where, of course we've seen K1 slip a little bit in coverage, but what he offered to the run game was amazing from how Vish describes it. Because Vish watches a lot of film and stuff. I don't do that, but so I take his word for it, right? So it's like, he fills in those gaps for a small dude, like he's like a linebacker almost. And so what it got me to thinking, I've liked this kid already in the draft, and it seems like he would be perfect for playing the slot and feeling that need, being a good run fit, is Jalen Petrie from Baylor.
Oh, yep. Yep, I've heard of him as well. I need to look up more of that as well. I think free agency, like I was getting into it around the combine, but then free agency came along, and I was like, I'm gonna stop this for a while. But Jalen Petrie, what school is he from again?
He's from Baylor.
Baylor.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they list him as a cornerback, but he was playing, I guess, what they call a star position. He's kind of like a slot. He's like a hybrid slot linebacker type of guy,
Okay.
and he's a ball hawk as well, and he's versatile. They have him play all over the place. So I don't know what his role would be on the Niners, whether he's going for strong safety or they have him in a slot. But that's someone that you can get like probably at 61.
Yeah.
Okay? And so I heard a trade that Kruger. I wanted to segue into this. I heard a trade that Kruger what's it called? Postulated. I guess that's the right word. Um,
Yeah.
he was saying, with Jimmy, right? Since
Right.
we don't have any obvious suitors anymore, but let's say the only one that's left that's really left needing a quarterback, right, is the Panthers, right? Like,
Right.
are they going to run it back with Sam Darnold? Are they going to risk their job on Sam Darnold? Is that their plan, right? Because Matt Rule
Yeah.
and that GM are probably gone, right, after this year if they don't win, they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I would say so. They're on a tightrope. What? This would be their second year? Wait, second year or third? Is it third year?
Yeah,
For
I think maybe the GM came after Matt Rule, but Matt Rule's been there probably
3 years?
maybe 3 years.
This is his third, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
So what he said was, you do this, you swap QBs, right? So we get
Oh.
Darnold. No, just hear me out. Hear me out. It gets better. You swap QBs, right? They get Garoppolo. We get Darnold. We restructure Darnold's contract or whatever. So I mean, restructure a little bit, right? He
Yeah.
could be a good backup. I don't know if he's willing to do that, but he could be a good backup for Trey.
Yeah.
Okay,
True.
so then you have that, and then of course that's a way better deal for the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
So then the Panthers would have to throw in, like, say they have pick 6, right? So he
Right.
was saying pick 6, and then maybe we give them our second, and then or our second and a 2023 second or third or
Okay.
whatever it is to make that 6. That's hard because 6 is very valuable. But another
Right.
thing I thought of is, what if we did this? We did the swap, right? And then the Panthers, what they do is they trade down, right, from the
Okay.
fifth pack to get one of the Eagles picks, because Eagles have 3 mid-round first rounders, right? They have 15, 16, and 19, right?
Okay.
And I would think the Eagles might want trade one of those picks, get up to 6, and then give
Right.
another, like a second and a third, whatever
Third, whatever.
their
Yeah.
compensation is going to be to go up that high, right? And then you use that second that you just got, and then you send it to the 49ers to make that a square deal.
Okay.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
would take a lot of pieces. I mean,
Yeah.
Panthers, the thing that I don't know, the thing that doesn't really that gets me is they could like are they willing to either draft a quarterback and give them some insurance that way, or and keep Sam Darnold, or are they willing to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? And I don't know.
Yeah, either way, they're desperate, right? And the thing about it
Right.
is, who is left that gives them the best chance? It's got to be Jimmy. Getting a rook, okay. First of all,
But Baker Mayfield.
oh, that's true, Baker Mayfield. But didn't they say that he has
Yeah.
no interest playing there? Like
I don't know.
it started off
I'm just
contentiously.
speculating here. Yeah.
It started off contentiously, right? And maybe that's just all posturing. Who knows? But it said that he wasn't interested, and they're not
Yeah.
interested back, right? So that's weird, right? So then maybe push comes to shove, that's what happens, and that would be a better fit for the Panthers if they did
Yeah.
get Baker Mayfield. But some things happen, So let's say
Yeah.
if you take Baker Mayfield out of it, Jimmy is obviously the guy, right? Because if
Yeah.
will the
Right.
own would the ownership group really let this GM and
Mhm.
and coach that are on the hot seat draft the QB, right? Will they
Yeah.
let them do that? Because it's kind of like, hey, dude, no, I'm not letting you draft another QB. I'll let
Yeah.
the next coach do that, because then you're expecting a rookie QB to come in and lead you to the playoffs, and this
Yeah.
this class doesn't have a guy like that, right? At least for
Well,
a year.
I mean, Malik Willis is a little bit dangerous, but the thing is I can see what you're saying. They bring in Jimmy even for 1 year because then next year it's a pretty deep QB class as well. But also, I could see them saying, like, if they draft a quarterback, and now it's risky, but if the Panthers draft a quarterback and then they win like six, I don't think they'd have to go to the playoffs in the first year. I think they'd have to show improvement. I think they'd have to show a
Hope.
plan
Yeah.
where we
Right.
draft a quarterback and then you don't do
You're
great.
right.
You win 6 games, whatever. I think they could easily do that because they have a good enough team. They win 6 or 7 games, and then they're like, okay, we're showing improvement, kind of
Right.
like the Dolphins did with Tua. And then you go and you maybe make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's another possibility as
Yeah,
well.
that's a good point because if they show hope, if they show, hey, we got this going, I know, be patient with us, and if the rookie flashes well, even though they're losing games, like then the whole fan base would be very hopeful of that, right?
Right.
So that would be interesting, and I do think that Matt Rule, other than outside of QB, he's built that team right. You know,
Right.
it's bad luck, right? Like Christian McCarthy goes down again, but I really like
some good receivers.
The season like 4-0.
Yeah, it was. I think they were 3-0. I think they were 3-0. Okay. It was like them and the Broncos were like about the same. But like, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, they had a good receiver, pretty good defense.
JC Horn's a stud.
Yeah. That's. I think So, well, anyways, I think I might need to go. Like, get off and end the show. But thank you for coming on. I mean, this was a lot of fun, and I'll probably put the clip as like the 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo trade thing. I'll probably put that separately because that's very interesting what you were stating.
So, right on. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah. See ya. Okay, so if anybody else wants to call in real quickly, I have maybe like 2 or 3 more minutes that I can keep this show rolling for. So sorry, CarCast. We were on an interesting discussion. I'm sorry I did not get your call and then he left. So very sorry for that. But if anybody, I'll leave it open for like 2 minutes and then I need to end the show. So if anybody else wants to call in, just feel free. Very interesting what he was bringing up about the trade talks. Very, very, very interesting. I think that would move a lot of pieces. I think I forgot to ask Swan Song this. When do you think the Jimmy Garoppolo trade will go down? I think they're going to wait until the draft. I think that's really what's going to happen. Ultimately, we're going to have to wait like day before draft and then there's a trade go down, or day of draft. I think that's what the 49ers are going to try to do. I think there's going to be a lot of movement right around the draft that we're going to see the 49ers do. And I think that's when you see Jimmy Garoppolo maybe getting traded. We have CarCast coming in. So I've never talked to this guy before. The draft. Yeah. He says the draft, and then that's how I see it. Yeah, that's how I see it too. I've never talked to this guy before, but I'm going to probably go on his show next week. So that will be interesting. Real quick, Swan Song says, and the 49ers like to make splashes in the draft. Yep, they definitely do. Around the draft, we saw the Trent Williams thing. Yes, for sure. So this is a guy that I have not, like,
what's
nice
up, man?
to meet you for one, and excited because I'll probably be going on your show sometime, so that'll be fun as well. So what's up?
Yeah, I'm super excited, man. I'm going to keep this short since I know you have to go, but I kind of wanted to piggyback of what you were saying before about Miami being a playoff team. I think they have a really good supporting cast for a guy like Tua, who people have been really down on. I always thought Tua stayed the same. I think people say he can't throw deep, he doesn't have the arm, but honestly, and people say Mike Flores is gone. They fired him, but with a guy like Mike McDaniels being the new head coach, I think this could kind of be like a new fresh start. Like they're putting a really good group and cast around a guy like Mike McDaniels. Like you were saying before, Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert, 2 fastest players in the NFL, and then they got MVS from the Packers, who could be that speed threat down the field for a guy like Tua who can throw down the field. But I think they honestly can compete really well with the Bills, Chiefs. And I'm really excited to see what Patrick Mahomes can do without a guy like Tyreek Hill. So I'm really interested. I think this could kind of be like a dynasty year for like Patrick Mahomes, like you were saying before, it's Swan Song. So, I think this could also be a test for Patrick Mahomes to see what he can do. And I'm not saying he can do well. like in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes, he can succeed with any offense. And with a head coach like Andy Reid, I think that offense is still going to be really high powered. And some Kansas City fans might be pissed that they lost Tyreek Hill. And I was looking it up before. They lost him to a first, a second this year, and a fourth, and they got a fourth and a sixth for 2023. So I honestly think, who knows if those those rookies are gonna pan out. I was talking with Amin the other day. He was on my show, but we don't know if those fourth or sixth round rookies are gonna pan out. But I think this is what was a really big move on Miami's part to get a guy like Tyreek Hill, that speedster. So I think they could compete with the Bills, like I was saying before, and the Chiefs. So yeah.
Well, and the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, they did replace him somewhat with pretty good receivers. It's going to be a different offense because I'm interested to see what they draft in the first round. I think they're going to try to get something similar to Tyreek Hill, like a slot, like smaller receiver, because right now they have bigger guys like Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He's a good deep threat, but he's
Juju
bigger.
Smith,
Juju Smith-Schuster, what's his name? Travis Kelce. So
yeah.
I think the two things that they need to bolster that offense is a pretty good running back.
And
I don't think they've had enough of that.
Yeah,
They've
McCole Hardman.
lean on the pass. Yeah, McCole Hardman.
He's a gadget guy, so I think that could really help Mahomes
His
out.
role could expand. That's a good point you make. But I think they try to go after one of these splashy receivers with one of their picks, and then in the second round they go and get a running back.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and then maybe safety to replace Tyrann Mathieu, because there's some good safeties that you could get late first round as well. So they're not completely out of it, but
of course.
I mean, the Dolphins, from their perspective, they've been outside of the playoffs every single year after year. It's not just a winning season that does it in the AFC. So they're saying, the AFC is gonna be so interesting because there's like 10 teams in the AFC, 11 teams that can all compete, but not all of them will make it, right? So Dolphins are just trying to ensure that they're going to make it, and they're giving Tua one last chance. If he doesn't succeed, then they're going after another. And they got Teddy Bridgewater as well. So if he doesn't succeed, you could bring in a decent Teddy Bridgewater quarterback to ensure the season a little bit.
Yeah, quickly wanted to make a last point. I think, in the AFC, I think this is going to be the Dolphins' year. Like they said, they were always on the cusp of making it into the playoffs, but they always, lost at the end. So I think they're going all in here just to, to see Tua, how he does with this type of cast around him. But I think this is going to be a great offense in 2022. But like you were saying, like you were saying about Tyrann Mathieu before, I honestly wanted the 49ers to get him because who knows, Jaquiski Tartt's going to stay next year. He might ask for the bag, but we'll see. We could just get him as a safety blanket, but we'll see what Kansas City does with him. I think Kansas City always had a good defense. Their offense is still going to be high powering. And I agree with you. They're probably going to get a running back in the second round. I think they should. I was never really high on a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Yeah, like he did fine his rookie season, but they also have Jared McKinnon still on the team, right? If I'm right.
Yes, Jared McKinnon. I mean, I don't think he's that good. But I think they have to do what similar to what the Steelers did. Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets injured too much, and then that really hurt the Chiefs in the playoffs because you're playing against the Bengals team, and because they didn't have a good enough run game, they were up against the Bengals. They could have ran it the whole entire game. That's the difference between a win against the Bengals and going to the Super Bowl and a loss against the Bengals. So I think that's a main concern for them because, again, you're losing one of your main offensive weapons. Yes, he's older. Yes, whatever. But you have to ensure that not all the pressure is on Patrick Mahomes and his arm.
That's true,
because he can't be doing it for year after year. Right.
You saw what happened in the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Bucks. That offensive line was absolutely horrendous. And and Patrick Mahomes still did something out of that. He made something out of nothing. So I don't want to stay on here too long. I know you have to go. So thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So everyone go subscribe to CarCast.
Appreciate that, man.
How old are you again?
I'm 15.
Okay, cool. I turned 15 in like 2 months.
So that's cool, man. Yeah.
Around the same age. But anyways, go subscribe to CarCast. It was good talking to you for the first time.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I just hope to have you on my show someday. But other than that, thanks for calling me in. I really appreciate you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll see you next time.
Okay, guys, that will be the end of the show. That was some good conversations. I mean, I had some trade scenarios for Jimmy Garoppolo, what the Chiefs will do, what the Dolphins are doing here. So everyone, thanks for watching. It's been about 40 minutes. Again, I'll be on here. I'll try to be on here more than once a week, but for right now, schedule's busy. Sunday mornings are the best for me. And it's nice to wake up speaking some football. So we'll see you guys again soon. Thank you everyone for watching, and peace out. We'll see you guys soon. Well, next week or sometime this week, I'll get a guest on. So we'll see. And I should be on CarCast channel soon this week if I have time. So we'll see you guys later. Like, subscribe, whatever, all that good stuff. And hopefully the 49ers maybe make a few better moves. And it's going to heat up toward when we get more closer to the draft. Trade talks and everything will heat up. So we'll see you guys again later. Peace.